Hi, welcome back to the channel, or welcome in if you're new. I'm Nautica, and today we're going to be covering the Siege Seeker mold with today's example, Thundercracker. By the way, make sure you stick around to the end for a special announcement. This was the first time anybody had ever tried making a Tetrajet, if you ignored the titanium one, and that one third-party one from Impossible Toys, and the Fall of Cybertron one. But this one is the closest we've gotten to the on-screen model from the pilot episode of G1. The Impossible Toys had really weird proportions in jet mode, and the titanium one was more the War Within Tetrajet, and the Fall of Cybertron one was its own separate thing, but it was still a Tetrajet. But this mold was very special because it was one of the best of Siege, in my opinion. At least that of the ones that I've experienced, and to be fair, I have not experienced a lot. Nautical mode is very swooshable, and that might just be because of just its angularness. It all goes down this way and reaches a point down here, which I think is really neat, and the color breakup with the red accents and the black is very nice. There is a little bit of chunk to it, and I guess that was more just like the Siege style. Almost everything was cubic in some way, which, you know, kind of lends itself to that aesthetic, I believe. Blasters have several places to store in the vehicle mode. There's 2 ports on the wings, and then there's 2 on the shoulders. I prefer to put them on the wings, but if you don't want to do parts forming or anything, you can just put them on the shoulders, and then you don't have to deal with that. The only problem a lot of people really seem to have with this mold is it is a shell former to an extent. It really is just a guy balled up under a bunch of kibble. It's a Cybertronian alt mode, so I can forgive it. As long as, you know, there's some parts that can actually be put in places. Like this chest piece goes up here, and these become the little shoulder stack things, which you will see with the transformation. On the transformation, sometimes it can be a little rough. Chest plate can pop out. These two can get stuck together. Sometimes the arms get stuck to the wings or to the sides of the legs. It can be very difficult to get some of them unstuck. The first time I got this figure, the 2 stacks were absolutely stuck together, and it took like prying a sword or something in there to get it out. I don't know. But this robot mode is very good proportionally. Cracker here is nice and lean, with extremely long legs, which some people might not like, but I think it suits a Seeker. A skinnier chest area than what a lot of Seekers have, which is something like sort of downgraded on with the Earthrise mold. And there is a lot of great posability on this figure. But before we move on to that, I do have to mention that head sculpt is definitely not Thundercracker. It's far more Starscream-alike, and they really should have used that for Starscream, but they didn't. And I can't change it now because I don't have a Siege Starscream, and I kind of don't want one, because this one's good enough for me. Moving on to articulation, we have a ball joint at the head, letting you look so much up, so much down. You can spin all the way around, forwards, and slightly backwards butterfly articulation at the shoulder, as well as some universals that are normal shoulders, not hot rod shoulders, that if you move the wing back can go all the way around, this much out, and a little bit in even. Bicep swivel. Double elbow, and wrist rotation. We got some waist rotation. It's only partial, but it still works really well, I think. Editing Nautica here, the stuff I already recorded for this is really badly shot, so let me redo this like section. We got an out at the hip, we got an up at the hip, and then it can go back a little bit, but it's mostly impeded by the back kibble. We have thigh rotation. We got some pretty deep knee bend, which is helped by the panel at the back of the legs that kind of just allows that really nice movement. Then we have an ankle tilt, and we have toe and heel articulation to allow that transformation, which also leads to a foot going up, which gives him a lot of new ways to pose. His wings can move back and up at an angle. I'm not entirely sure what the up at an angle articulation is for, but I think it's really neat. Articulation on this guy is really nice, especially with all of those little points of articulation that they didn't have to put in there, but they did. And it really works well for a flying type character like a Seeker. They're always agile, even if their personalities really aren't. Probably seen by now, Thundercracker comes with 2 pair blasters that he can hold in his hands, mounted at his wrists, or more like his forearms, but yeah. Place them most commonly on his shoulders. Blasters aren't really G1 accurate, but I do love the shape of them, and you know, if you want to get the more G1 null rays, they're out there, you can get them, and then you can use these for blasters for whatever figures you have that don't have weapons. Well, while I wish that Hasbro would make some sort of G1 accurate Tetrajet just to go along with the Origins Bumblebee figures, and all his mold mates are really nice additions to collections. And if you really want just a good posable Seeker, this will be your go-to option. That's been my look at the Siege Thundercracker. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with people that you think might like it. And now time for that special announcement. Discord now, where you all can hang out, talk about Transformers stuff, talk about really anything, because there are channels for other stuff as well, and just meet new people. And also, you will get insider info on any video or anything I do in that server as well. I really hope some of you guys join it, make some friends, just have some fun. And that's all for the special announcement. By the way, do not forget, once we hit 50 subscribers, I will do a live stream or just a long-form video of me building this Blocky's Bumblebee, and if it's a live stream, you can ask me any questions you want, we can chat, and then we'll see just what this model kit has in store. Alright, have a good day!